Hello, and this is a history of saps, blackjacks, and slungshots, still exploring the most forgotten weapons of all time. And this is my first supplemental video because I learned something about this guy here, so you might remember the bamboo Cosh. So, quick reminder, we have a lead-loaded piece of bamboo, and it's pretty mysterious because at the time I made the original video, I had seen one other example ever, online or anything, besides the one I own. Well, I've now seen two, so that's a grand total of three. So this was a thing, but it's hard to say how much of one it was. And you remember that end is really worn. I kind of theorized that was, held in a pocket and pointed down, and that's where all that rubbing came from. And all three have this division that you're looking at right here, which is the thing I learned about. And I didn't know what purpose that served because it's there. Maybe is it for extra grip? Is there an actual section there? Is it built out somehow? So you grab onto it like that, but it didn't seem like it because this is the bottom, not just because that lanyard, because that was obviously added way later, but this just kind of seems like the bottom when you compare the two leather ends, and this here's a striking portion. So I wondered if it had something to do with construction, and I definitely don't know much about how these are put together, and pretty much nobody ever bothered to write anything down about it. So I just left it up as another mystery about this thing. So, they were used, this design, this was a set design, and it always featured this kind of division here. And then one day I was handling it, just trying to make room to get to another one, and this happened. And whoa, that's not good. It came off. It's not good with an antique, but it lets me see what was in there. And you've got these two pegs, you see them? There's one, look at the bottom, tiny little thing, and then this other one is covered with leather that's still stuck to it. So apparently this is what you did, right? It wasn't sectioned. It's one solid piece of bamboo. You drilled tiny little holes and then inserted these two just minuscule little pegs to then anchor that leather band. And I find that to be very odd because under the, duress, it could come off, and is it just a stylistic thing? Maybe it was supposed to aid in grip, but that doesn't seem like the most secure way to do something like that. I don't know. Thought it was interesting. So now we know, and we might be the only people on Earth who actually know that. The other thing is, with the third example that came up for auction recently, they said it was from China, which is not surprising, and that lends a little credence to my guess, my hypothesis, that these were maybe built, in Asia, but for the English market, back in, the Victorian era. And speaking of that time, I did find one quotation from 1860 about a lead-loaded, defense piece of bamboo. So there's that as well. Thanks.